What's up, Fight Fam, and welcome to Boxing Bros. This is episode 17. I'm Caden.
G.
Trail. Alright, and the first topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is our reaction to the Triple G versus Derevyanchenko fight. Saying his name is the hardest part. Derevyanchenko. I think we got it here. And I'm going to turn this one over to Trill. What was your reaction to that fight?
The Reverend Chenko.
Bless him. It's the Derevyanchenko.
Well, it sounds good like the Reverend Chenko. Whatever. I was impressed by this guy. Wow. That's all I can say. I'm going to start calling him the Reverend Chenko.
He blessed us last night with a good fight.
Last night with an amazing fight. I was like, wow. I thought that Triple G was going to go in here and it was just going to be a showcase for Triple G. Boy, was I in for a treat, and I was surprised. Derevyanchenko, only person I can talk about is him. You know what I'm saying? I was super surprised by how he came out, and I wasn't, because every time I see this kid, he comes out and he fights hard. And but this fight, he won. I thought he won by 1 point. I don't care what nobody says. I know people trying to make this Triple G and Canelo fight happen, and no, they need to run this back. They need to run this back because I think the right winner didn't win. You know what I'm saying? This kid brought the fight to Triple G. He made Triple G look old. He hurt Triple G a couple times. Canelo didn't look this good against Triple G. You know what I'm saying? And this kid did. This kid was going toe-to-toe with Triple G and got a horrible cut in the second round and fought on with all his. I'm just so impressed with this kid. I just want to see him again. I want to see them run it back. Triple G needs to go back to the drawing board because this was, man, listen, it was a good fight, but I was more impressed by the Derevyanchenko.
All right, so let me just jump in real quick. You heard it here on Boxing Bros first. We are petitioning for Derevyanchenko to change his name to Sergiy Derevyanchenko. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I also had it the Rev winning. I had my scorecard. I had it 115, 112, and even though it's weird because Triple G scored that knockdown, but I feel like it was an illegal punch, but it's whatever. I still gave Triple G the 10-8 round. Like, I had like 3 toss-up rounds, so it could go either which way, but the way I seen it, like, the Rev was still had a clear lead. But I won't say it's like a robbery, you know what I'm saying, because it was still a good fight. So I just don't see how people could say Triple G won. I could see the Rev winning, or I could see a draw. I can't see really like people like clearly saying Triple G, because I think the judges, 2 judges had or one at least said 115, 112 for Triple G. I was like, whoa, you know? I was like, I don't know about all of that, you know what I mean? So, but I'll say this though, it seems like Triple G's showing his age. He's always been kind of slow, but at least he always had like the good angles, and he kept his hands moving. In this fight, he was just, I don't know, it's like he was moving back constantly. He never applied pressure. It seemed like he was more afraid of homeboy, especially after that body shot. I was like, man, this ain't
that body shot was
this ain't the Triple G I know.
Triple G was looking real Kovalev.
Yeah.
Real Kovalev-ish in that fight.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
He was fighting a Sergey.
He's getting blessed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His stomach got born again. You know what I mean?
All right, so you good?
Yeah.
All right, I agree with Trill and G surprisingly wholeheartedly, so there's no need to really dive into what's already said. I want to talk about something different. So for starters, Triple G cut Derevyanchenko with a punch, and it was ruled a headbutt. And then they said because Harvey Dock said it was a headbutt, it had to remain as a headbutt. I disagree with that, man. If you have the ability to use instant replay, it shouldn't take time for someone in the truck to review and say punch or headbutt. Let's get this right. Let's get this accurate. Fortunately, it didn't play a role in the fight. However, we need to get this right. It's very important. This determines whether someone wins, loses, or draws, and it determines their future moving forward. So let's get that right.
I think Vegas is on point with that because Vegas allows the instant replay. I think all the other cities and towns should get hit because I totally agree.
Yeah, I'm shocked New York doesn't do the instant
Exactly, because that could have really messed this whole fight up.
I agree. And speaking about replay, I think all knockdowns should be replayed. The reason why I'm saying that is there's a new trend in boxing to hit behind the head. And I saw Triple G try to hit Derevyanchenko behind the head a few times when Derevyanchenko was coming on and hitting him with vicious body shots. And I think we're rewarding these fighters who hit behind the head. And I mean, I'm okay with the upset. I think it injected some life into the heavyweight division of the Ruiz-Joshua upset, but that was a shot behind the head. We can't keep rewarding these fighters when they're cheating and throwing shots behind the head. I think along with reviewing all the cuts, we should review all the knockdowns because that can also determine the outcome of a fight. How many times have we seen someone's foot get stepped on and they go down or a slip or anything? Let's review these knockdowns and make sure that they're official because we're awarding someone an extra point, which can be pivotal in determining the outcome of the fight. Had Derevyanchenko not fallen down and gotten the point, I know they said it wouldn't have really mattered. Triple G would have still won, which goes to show you how terrible those scorecards were. But let's get that right. All right, so moving on, because I agree with your analysis of the fight. I had Derevyanchenko winning. The Reverend Derevyanchenko.
Shout out to what you just said too about the stepping on the feet and about the knockdowns because I want to give a shout out to a kid. His name is Joe Ward. He fought on the card last night. He's from Ireland. He's in his first pro debut. He got stepped on. His foot stepped on and he went down and dislocated his knee. And the fight was stopped and it was considered a TKO loss on his record. I feel like if instant replay was used, it would have at least been a no contest. But that was just a...
Let's get this right. Some things it's cool to keep tradition. Sometimes it's necessary to change with the times. We have the technology. We can get this right. Let's get it right. All right, so the next question I'm going to throw at you, Trill, is should Triple G go back to Abel Sanchez? He said at the end of the fight he knows what he needs to do. I kind of thought maybe he was saying he was going to go back to Abel Sanchez. Jonathan Banks was interviewed at the end of the fight, and he just praised Derevyanchenko, saying he thought it should have been closer than a unanimous decision and all types of things that I don't think he should have said. Do you think Triple G should go back to Abel Sanchez?
I mean, that's a yes or no question. In there, I feel like yes and no. Because Abel Sanchez did a lot of things for Triple G that wasn't good. As far as him keeping him active but not getting the pay. Having him sign certain contracts will have him fighting more, but not reaping the benefits of his fighting because they was more like, we'll get the money later. We'll get the money later. You know what I'm saying? So certain things like that, I don't agree with. I mean, and then, you know, when Triple G gets to a certain age, there's only so much like a Jonathan Banks can teach him. You know what I'm saying? And with money situations, I think Triple G is at the point of the career where he's trying to keep the majority of the bulk of the money with him. He's the one in there, he took all the punches and taking all the punishment. I don't think right now that switching trainers is the best thing to happen with Triple G. I just think it's time. Father time. You know what I'm saying? Getting a new trainer ain't gonna help. It's father time. He's already took enough punishment, got punched up a bit by Canelo, and it's just time. Danny Jacobs, it was just time. We kept seeing it happening, and he kept saying like he was letting people hit him because he wanted the fight to be more entertaining. But no, he was just slowing down, and time was getting to him. You know what I'm saying? The type of way he fights, the time was getting to him. So I don't think that's gonna help him. And then to Jonathan Banks, I think Jonathan Banks was telling Triple G what to do, and Triple G wasn't applying certain things. And about him, he was just surprised and didn't want to take nothing back from Derevyanchenko. So I actually gave Jonathan Banks props for actually showing Derevyanchenko some love and not dismissing what he was able to do in that ring. because I really believe that they was really trying to. If we don't make a big deal about it, they're gonna rush this under the rug, and Triple G is gonna go on to try to get a super fight with Canelo again. They're gonna make like Canelo just totally obliterated him and knocked him out for these millions of dollars. When I think he needs to run it back, I really do.
G.
I kind of agree with Trill and I kind of disagree. I don't believe Triple G should go back to Abel Sanchez because of the things that you were bringing up, his age. His style that he was doing, the Mexican style, is not going to work for Triple G at this stage of his career. He needs to focus more on longevity, and I believe that Banks could provide that. During that fight, Banks was giving them sound advice. He was saying, yo, let your hands go. Move forward with the jab. Stop moving back. Like, to me, these was like obvious things that Triple G needed to do during that fight to actually win the fight, right? So I'm not necessarily upset by Banks showing the Rev love and respect at the end of the fight, because it's like we all could see it. Like, bruh, like the Rev put in work. You know what I mean? Like, y'all try to rob it. I'm not gonna say robbery, but it was close. You know what I mean? Where it seemed funny style. So I don't think Triple G, the solution should be Triple G go back to Abel. Because again, Abel's style is gonna have this dude retire probably in the next 2 fights. You know, and if Triple G is trying to last as long as possible, especially in that middleweight division, like there's a lot of killers in that division. He needs to switch up his style. I actually like the Eastern European style of boxing, where it's like a combination of like Mexican and Cuban style, where it's like, all right, focus on angles, focus on, you know, hitting, not getting hit. That to me is ideal for, well, I don't know if it's ideal for Triple G because he's kind of slow, but if he could actually,
mentality, the boxing puncher.
yeah, so if he could at least utilize angles, you know, switch it up and things of that nature, like the Rev was doing, then I could see Triple G's career lasting longer. But if he goes back to Abel and goes straight Mexican style again, yo, come on, look at that body shot. Can he take any more body shots at this age? I don't think so. You know what I mean? So we might have literally a Kovalev 2.0, you know? So I think Triple G needs to stay with his trainer. Or if he feels like maybe he can't listen to the trainer because he's set in his ways, go get another trainer. But I don't think Abel is the right style for Triple G at this stage.
All right, now tell me what you disagree with me about.
I could have sworn you said, because you said don't go back to Abel because of the money situation. I'm saying just don't go back to that style.
I was just saying the same way with the style too. You know what I'm saying? Triple G is, you know.
No, this is what, if he does go back to Abel, Abel should get paid. Because Abel's been with him since, you know, the beginning of his startup. So, you know, if your trainer is, you know, the trainer helps you become a superstar. You can't just leave him once you get the big bag. To me, that's disrespectful, you know? So if he's gonna go back to Abel, you're gonna have to come off with some bread, you know? But I don't think he should go back to Abel, because I don't think Abel's style will complement his career right now.
Abel was getting 2 checks.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to discuss the money aspect of it, but I will say this. It's cliche, but it's fact. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I think at this point, for him to go to Jonathan Banks and try to learn a different style, try to adopt the hit but not get hit, becoming more of a boxer, just doesn't seem to be working for him, particularly with what took place last night. I think Abel Sanchez has bred him a certain way. It's worked throughout his career. I think he needs to go back to Abel Sanchez, because I think all the time he spent with Abel just knows him better. And, you know, I can see the pettiness from Cecilia Brækhus and Abel Sanchez when she was training with Jonathan Banks. Triple G went to Jonathan Banks, and I guess Cecilia Brækhus felt like she wasn't getting enough attention. So then she went to Abel, Triple G's old trainer, and then they were like posting all these pics on IG and whatnot. Sometimes I think trainers just know their fighters. You look at Ricky Hatton. He had his trainer. I don't even remember his trainer's name, but he left his trainer and went with Floyd Mayweather Sr. Floyd Mayweather Sr. tried to turn Ricky Hatton into Floyd Mayweather, and then when he fought Manny Pacquiao, it was one of the most vicious and most exciting one-punch knockouts I've ever seen. Sometimes, I think Ricky Hatton would have done better with his straight bull rush style, rough you up, fight on the inside tactics rather than trying to counter Manny Pacquiao, who was faster, more accurate. Sometimes I think you gotta dance with who brung you, and I think Abel Sanchez is the one who brought Triple G that far. I think he just needs to go back. He just needs to fight Mexican style until he can't fight it no more.
I don't think he can fight it no more.
Hey, which brings me to my last point. Sometimes you wish you can I wish I could just like be in someone's ear. I wish I could have been in Derevyanchenko's ear last night, because I would have told him to say this. Y'all know I beat that boy. What they trying to do? They trying to get that money. They trying to make that Canelo Triple G3. Y'all know I beat that boy. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for watching Boxing Bros. Please like and subscribe and comment, and check us out on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. It's the Boxing Bros. Derevyanchenko.
The Reverend.